Wonderful. So, do see a few more folks are joining us. I'm Alexandra Bell. I'm the technical director at the Belleville Theatre Guild and your tech host this evening. And with me is Amy-Lyn van Londersele, our president at the Belleville Theatre Guild and our BTG host and welcomer this evening. So again, just a reminder, we are now live streaming onto YouTube. We also do record our performances, so we are going to also do that. And as that's going, I'll just take this opportunity to go over a few little tech tips and tricks as we approach the start of the show. So one thing that will make your enjoyment of watching tonight's performance much better is if you are in gallery view, or I like to think of it as Hollywood Squares view, which means that right now, if you're in gallery view, you're going to see both Amy-Lyn and I up on the screen. If you are in speaker view, you're just seeing me and my lovely Christmas lamp right now talking to you. So if you are on a laptop computer, you're going to mouse over into your top right corner and you're going to see a little bubble that says view. If you click on that, you're going to see the two view options. You're going to want to make sure that you've got gallery view selected. If you're on a mobile device like a phone or a tablet, you can change between your views just by swiping your screen to the right, and that will stack up the videos. So if you swipe to the right, you'll see now probably Amy-Lyn and I stacked up. And again, a reminder, just a few more folks joining us, we will ask you leave your camera and microphone off until after the performance this evening. And so the other tip I'm just going to give is that you want to hide non-video participants. So right now, if you're seeing my video and Amy-Lyn's, and then a whole bunch of other name tiles popping up, like everybody's name, you're going to need to change the settings. So again, on a laptop, you go up to that same spot we just went to, that view button in the corner, and it may say hide or show non-video participants. You can select that option. Or you will go to your bottom left corner and you're going to see a little video camera. And beside it, there's an arrow. When you click on that, you're going to see the last option is video settings. You're going to click on that and scroll down the list of options, and there it will be hide non-video participants. You can always go to our website, bellevilletheatreguild.ca. Warren, our membership director, has done a wonderful job of putting up some instructions and things. So if you're having a hard time following, you can definitely go over. But again, I think a lot of the names I'm seeing, I recognize. A lot of you have been to our performances. So you should be pretty familiar with hiding non-video participants and going to gallery view. So I'm just going to double check now that we're working over here. And looks great. There we are. Fantastic. And oh, I see one of our playwrights who's quite often in our Zooms is over there on YouTube tonight. That's fantastic. Hello over there, so they all know as they're joining on our YouTube channel that we see them. It's fantastic, and it's a little bit easier than maybe what some of you have done to get over here on our Zoom. For anyone watching on YouTube, they just had to click on. They might even just have it on their television tonight with their feet up, jammies on, and the rest of us might be here sitting at our computer. So we're just trying to make it a little more accessible, as easy as possible. And certainly if you're in our YouTube and you can use the chat feature to ask questions after, I'll be keeping an eye and kind of asking over in the Q&A. So yeah, it looks like we're approaching about 7:33, and we do still have a few people coming in. So we'll just give it a few more minutes here to let our Zoom audience members get in and settled, and then I'll happily hand it over to Amy-Lyn to host this evening's performance. Okay, Catherine's saying she can only see me on her phone. So Catherine, you're going to need to swipe to the right. So what you do is just like if you were going to change the screen on your phone or your tablet, swipe to the right, and that should take you into the other view from speaker view to gallery view.
Alex, on my phone, if there's only two people, it won't let me do that. So that may be her problem.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you so much, Warren, for mentioning that. So Catherine, as we start the performance and we have more of the actors up, that may be an option. Right now, it sounds like it may be limiting you just to see that. So if anyone else is also experiencing what Catherine is, we will have more than two people up on screen during the performance. So that would be when you would want to swipe over and take in that gallery view. So yeah, things are just starting to trickle down here. We'll give it just right till 7:35 is about when I like to. And then I'll hand that over to Amy-Lyn and she'll get started um, with hosting tonight's performance. And you heard Warren, one of our playwrights there, his voice came through for a minute. He's here. And we actually have a sound person hiding. Stefan, one of our sound techs, is here tonight doing some sound, which is really neat to have that happening. We're learning more and more all the time with this technology. So yeah, I'm excited as well to sit back and enjoy the performance with everyone this evening. It's been fun. So yeah, here we go around to 7:35. So just one last quick reminder, we don't have anyone else trickling in. So keep your cameras off until after the show. Get yourself over to gallery view for the best viewing option. And you also will want to hide non-video participants through either your video settings or again, up in your top right corner, you've got the view kind of settings and options. And that's just going to make tonight a little bit easier for you to watch the performance. Again, I'm Alex Bell, the tech director at the Belleville Theatre Guild, and it's my pleasure to pass it over to Amy-Lyn van Londersele, our president and tonight's host.
Good evening. Sorry, guys. I can't be serious. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the latest online one-act play reading brought to you by the Belleville Theatre Guild. I'm so excited. I'm Amy-Lyn van Londersele, and I will be your host for this evening's reading. I don't know. We have been bringing you live online play readings since last year, and we plan to continue to do this as a means of keeping our theater alive in our community, and because it's fun. Look for a new play every other Thursday at 7:30, primarily new and locally written one-act plays. The next play in our series after this is a brand new play called Nothing Else Going by Alex Bell, our tech host tonight. So that will happen 2 weeks from now on April 8th at 7:30. The opportunity to be in one of these one acts is super easy. You don't even have to audition. All you have to do is email Marvin, who isn't here right now. I think we're putting a link somewhere for his email, or it's going to go in the chat. And honestly, just email him and just say, hey, this is me. And if he doesn't know you, let him know your age so that he kind of has an idea of a good role that he could put you into for any upcoming play reading. And of course, we're always looking for new plays to bring to you. So if you have always wanted to write a play, this is a really good chance to just kind of throw it out there, because it's not a whopping audience. You don't have to worry about all the stage stuff. You're just putting it out there as a reading on Zoom. And sometimes just hearing it read out loud helps you to know what worked, what didn't, what you want to change, etc. Tonight's reading is called The Articulates and is written by Warren Christiani and Jim Love. It's a good one. I was at dress rehearsal on Monday and I laughed out loud. So did my husband, who doesn't like theater. He laughed out loud from the other room. So that was good. That's a good sign. You guys are going to love this show. Warren is with us tonight, the playwright, and we're going to let him say a little something before the show, even though he told me he wasn't going to. And
Okay, you can hear me all right? Can you hear me all right? Is this thing on?
Hello?
Yeah, this play was written, it's based on some improvisations that Jim Love and I did while we weren't busy on the backstage for the performance of Sting in the spring of 2019, I guess. It's a long time ago. Anyways, Jim's contribution to the play is he's written all of the dialogue for a particular individual in the play, and I'll leave it to you to figure out who that is. Unfortunately, Jim can't be with us tonight.
Because he hates Zoom.
Because he hates, hey, that's my punchline. Because he hates Zoom, but he's with us in spirit watching on YouTube. So anyways, with that, I'll give it back to Amy-Lyn.
Thank you ever so much, kind sir. Okay, so let's move on to tonight's reading. For the articulates, the cast is as follows. They don't have character names. They are Rick Zimmerman, Peter Paylor, Enno Busse, I always get the last name wrong, Barb Grenier, and Scott Roodvoets. Such a great cast. And we have Stefan on sound. And speaking of sound, we have a really fun surprise for you tonight that will hopefully make you smile. It made me smile, and it made me feel a little sad that we haven't been in the theater for so long. So we have a little surprise before the show that will hopefully just kind of warm you up a little bit. So without further ado, let's get to the articulates.
Welcome to the Pinnacle Playhouse. We remind you to turn off your cell phone or pager. If your watch beeps at the top of the hour, please put it in your purse or pocket. If you'll need a candy or throat lozenge, now is the time to unwrap it. The use of cameras or recording devices of any kind is not permitted. We invite you to visit the concession stand in the green room at intermission, and we hope that you've already bought your 50/50 tickets. If not, you'll have a further opportunity at intermission. The draw will be made at the end of the intermission. Remember, all proceeds go towards our ongoing improvements to the theater. And finally, in the event of an emergency, we ask that you leave the auditorium by the exit nearest you. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Hey, the good old hockey game, it's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. Hey, yeah, it's me. Yeah, are you ready? Okay, hey, what about those Leafs, eh? Huh? Hey. Well, yeah, but they really came back in the third period. Well, yeah, all right. Well, look, we'll talk about it later, okay? Since we're in a bit of a hurry. Okay, then. All right. I'll meet you at the bus stop in a few minutes. Okay, bye. Oh, hockey game. Okay, if I sit down here? Can I sit down? Right. Okay. Yeah. Ha. Hey. Hey, I'm telling you, those Leafs were really something, eh? Last night? Yeah. Well, yeah, I know about the second period. I was talking about that third period, though. They played heroically. Well, yeah, maybe heroically is too strong a word. But they did tie the game. Still useless? Oh, you just think about it. They actually won the third period. Is that useless? Look, no. I refuse to be disappointed in them. I don't want to talk about it anymore. When's this bus supposed to get here? What? 10 minutes? Oh, I guess that's okay. What's with this big puddle right here in front of us? Oh, when the bus finally gets here, this water's gonna wash right up over the sidewalk. Yeah, exactly, like a tsunami. Yeah, right up to our eyeballs. Yeah, in a minute. What? What do you mean it's climate change? Yeah, I know. We're getting a lot more rainfall now, and when it does come down, it's right, torrential. Yes, that doesn't explain this though. I mean, the only water around here right now is right here in front of us, and down the gutter that way. Everywhere else, it's all dry. I blame the city workers for not keeping the drains clear. Oh, no, they're not overworked, overwhelmed by the impending climate crisis. You know what they need to do? They need to, just pardon my French, they need to get off their chaises and get out there and do the work they were paid to do. Yeah, hey, yeah, look, come here. Right there, look. Where that drain is supposed to be, there's something blocking it. Right there. Just about where that lady in the red dress is walking. No, the other one. The one that's more to the left there. Well, okay, it's not red, it's magenta. Right? Well, now it's too late. Both of the ladies have moved. Look. Beside the guy in the brown jacket. A crew then. So you see, right beside that guy in the brown A crew jacket, there's that bulge right against the curb. You're right. Maybe that is some kind of a dead animal. Maybe it's a raccoon. A beaver? Well, what would a beaver be doing wandering around downtown? What? Oh. So you think the beaver heard the sound of the running water and he came to build a dam? Yeah. I know. I watched that documentary on the nature of things too. So then why is he dead? I don't know. Well, why was he crossing the road? Well, is that supposed to be some kind of a joke? I do too have a sense of humor when things are really funny. Hey, I should call the city and report this. Well, but which department? Oh, works. No, I think it would be animal control. Yeah, I know it's dead, but maybe it's got rabies or something. All right. Okay. All right. I'll phone the switchboard then, and I'll see if they can tell me. No hockey game is the best game. Oh, great! It's one of those answering machines.
For service in English, please press 1. For service in French, please press 2. Thank you for calling the city. We appreciate you taking the time to make this phone call. Hearing from you is important to us. If you know the 4-digit extension of the person you wish to speak with, please press 9 and enter it now. Please listen carefully to the following menu. For the accounting department, please press 1. To pay your tax bill, please press 2. To report a late payment to your tax bill, please press 3. To complain about your tax bill, please press 4. For all other inquiries, please press 0. Please state your problem clearly, and I will try and direct you to the correct department.
Oh, there's a dead animal, and it's blocking the sewer near 119 Hickory Street.
You sound like you need to speak with accounting. If this is correct, please say yes. If not, then please say no.
No.
Please state your problem clearly, and I will try and direct you to the correct department.
The sewer is blocked on Hickory Street.
You sound like you need to speak to pay your tax bill. If this is correct, then please say yes.
No.
Please state your problem clearly, and I will try and direct you to the correct department.
There's a beaver blocking a sewer on Hickory Street.
You sound you need to speak to animal control. If this is correct, please say yes.
Yes.
Connecting to animal control. Please note that animal control only deals with live animals. Dead animals are removed by the works department. If you wish to continue, please say yes.
No.
Please state your problem clearly, and I will try and direct you to the correct
There is
department.
a dead beaver blocking the sewer at 119 Hickory Street.
You sound like you want to speak to the works department. If this is correct,
Yes, yes, yes.
please state your problem clearly, and I will try and direct you to the correct department. You sound like you wish to speak to complain about my tax bill. If this is correct, please say yes.
What? Oh, be my guest.
One moment, please. There's a dead beaver blocking the sewer at 119 Hickory Street? Oh, this is awful. We're finding it tough to keep up with all the events due to the impending climate change. I'll get the works department to look after it right away. Oh, while you're waiting, please watch out for the sidewalk tsunami when the bus comes by. And may I ask the name of the civic-minded citizen who's brought this to our attention? Really? Are you the same Herman Himmler who used to work for the city? Oh, it's nice to meet you. Everyone here speaks so fondly of you. Oh, I will. Thank you, Mr. Himmler. Please have a nice day.
Well, that was fast. Oh. What do you mean there's a skill to effective complaining? I said exactly the same thing on the phone as you did. Oh, how can tone make all the difference? Besides, if I sounded exasperated, it's because I was exasperated. Yeah, well, I'm just saying too. Where exactly did you work at the city? Oh, all right. I should have known. Well, where have you been? That was a lot more than just a few minutes. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean you were at the other bus stop? We always meet at this bus stop. Okay. Yeah, last week we met at the other bus stop, but all the other times we've met at this bus stop. But we're not taking the bus. We're not taking the bus. We're going to walk. Yeah, I guess we better. Well, it's too late to walk now. No, that was a great game. The Leafs played heroically in the third period. Okay, maybe heroically is not the word, but you could say that they won that third period.
Boy, that guy sure can talk. You should have encouraged him, though. I see what you mean. No way out. I thought he was right about the Leafs, though. We'll have to agree to disagree on that point, I guess. Nice call on the Beaver. So why do you think the Beaver crossed the road? Of course. After you? Very well then, age before beauty.
What a treat. It was hilarious. I loved it. Loved it.
Hoorah.
I don't think I've laughed out loud so much in a long time.
It felt good, didn't it?
You feel it viscerally. You're like, oh, I hate those conversations, but then you're laughing out loud, and it was the best.
I know. I didn't know.
What's that?
I didn't know if I wanted Peter's. I didn't know if I wanted Peter's part or Enno's part.
Peter, were you off book?
We're not going there.
You promised. Enno wasn't in the play. He just happened to leave his camera on.
How many of you felt uncomfortable watching Scott cough into his hand instead of his elbow?
I liked that.
It's like watching a horror film. It's like, no, Scott, cough into your elbow. There's a pandemic.
Well, Enno was hiding behind his newspaper then, weren't you, Enno? You were like sheltering.
Exactly.
Did any of you find, this is, the girls would call them Easter eggs. Did any of you guys see some Easter eggs, which means like a little something hiding in the show? And it has to do with Enno. Anybody notice?
Newspaper.
Yes. The article it was perfect. The whole line underneath the picture.
Yeah, it like played into the scene.
Peter, as a man of words, I would say that was very well done. Those very well spoken words tonight.
It's my radio background, having none.
I would like to know how Peter kept a straight face through that whole thing. It was hysterical.
Warren helped to keep me miserable right through the whole thing.
You're welcome.
Warren,
Yes.
were you going to share a little bit more about the show, or no?
This was written 2 years ago. I didn't write it specifically for Zoom.
No.
But I actually enjoyed having left it for so long and not looked at the script. It was interesting to then work with it as a director to bring it together. First couple of rehearsals, we had to work through a few things, but one of which is that when I point like that, if everybody points that way, it doesn't happen.
You say point to everyone point to their left.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that a hoot?
Oh.
We're going crazy.
Yeah.
Direction. Everybody listened.
Incredible audience. Oh, she said do it.
Yeah. I actually found it hard. I find it hard to believe that Peter and Rick were not looking at each other. They did so well doing that. So.
Oh yeah.
I've got an 8x10 glossy of Rick up right here.
Creepy.
What's he wearing?
He was doing Peter Pan at the time, so you don't want to know.
Okay, too much information there. Too much information.
Rick, I'd like to know how much steam whistle you drank over the course of the
I actually told Mr. Director that I just had water in it, just in case.
Sure, you did.
Oh yeah.
So the story is loosely based on true events, as Alex recalled the other day.
I thought part of the story was very timely, in particular about the beaver. I don't know if you heard on the news or not today, but there was a beaver got into the subway in Toronto.
Yeah, heard that.
Yeah, that was part of our promotional stunt.
Well done.
Yeah, it worked really well.
So I will explain that I wrote the play with the story about the beaver in it, and it was only afterwards that Jim came up to me. He says, "And that happened right in front of the theater, didn't it?" And I went, "What are you talking about?"
I
I
was there.
Jerry was there and Alex was there. So Alex, you want to tell a story, or Jerry, do you want to tell a story?
No, I can't remember.
Okay.
So we were standing outside. It was raining, and
Well, you got to set the. Come on, Jerry. You got to set the stage. Well, we were at the theater for Night Kitchen 2.
It was Night Kitchen.
Ongoing musical fundraiser event that the Belleville Theater Guild would have been in their 8th year doing, but COVID. So the group of us were out front, yes, and it was raining.
Yeah.
And it was you and I and Jim and Nathan and Lisa. I think you were with us, weren't you? Yes, yeah. Lisa's here. There's a few of us beavers around on the show tonight. And lo and behold, there was a beaver crossing the road downtown Belleville in front of the Pinnacle Playhouse at, 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. So, I think it caused a bit of an uproar. And maybe, Jerry, this is where it's a good place for you to take over, because I think you took action, did you not?
I took action. I didn't call the city. I called the Belleville Finest, Belleville Police, because I figured they'd answer the phone on a Saturday night. And the response was, yeah, so. What do you want us to do about it?
It's Canada.
It's Canada, yeah. Look at the info, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just what time of the year was that? It was March or something, or
What was it? No, it was the fall.
okay.
I think it was like our October show, maybe. November show.
You know, it was going.
We're all
going up
not
the,
remembering too well. Maybe I should be checking the YouTube because Jim's over there. He's not saying anything, except for, does anyone remember the night the beaver walked up the road in front of the theater? I'll never forget, because, I mean, it's not every day you see a beaver walking up Pinnacle
That's
Street,
right.
Belleville.
Is Jim selling 50/50 tickets on YouTube?
Probably. I don't know. We didn't get the license. If we had, I'm sure he would be. Lots of nice comments there. Unfortunately, Alex Christiani forgot his throat lozenge and his pager, so the pre-show announcement was lost on him. Marvin was hiding over on our YouTube. He loved it. And Eric Christiani says marvelous. Antonina from the market, and she's also been a performer at our Night Kitchen too. Wonderful. Special compliments to Peter Paylor. Yeah, Peter Coy watched over on YouTube tonight. Lots of fun. Well done. Keith Taylor was over on our YouTube as well. And Jim says a rainy night that night. Yes, it was, Jim. Indeed, it was a rainy night, and the beaver was wandering towards the river, away from.
Maybe the police didn't understand you, Jerry. Maybe if you'd been a little more articulate, like Peter, when you told
Use
them
my
about the
best radio voice. Yeah.
Num 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 num.
Kudos to Stefan, by the way. The sound was excellent. That really brought in a whole new dimension to Zoom.
I'm gonna email you for some stuff soon. Stuff FYI.
FYI. That's a wonderful thing as we sit longer in this theater format. Thankfully, the technology has also been developing. So, Warren's really been instrumental in staying on top of that kind of stuff as well, and playing around with it and having a lot of fun. And yeah, he brought Stefan in, who added that extra character tonight to the show, which was lovely. Lovely.
I just would like to comment based on my theater studies at university. And I was thinking about Ibsen and his plays. This was not one of them. However, I will have to say that Peter's acting did remind me of the Swedish chef on Muppets.
Yes.
Same dialect.
No.
Okay, so he just came in and he's looking hungry. Yeah, all right.
I was gonna describe it as nuanced.
Very avant-garde, mumble.
Warren, as somebody who spends his day at work dealing with voice recognition answering services, I was in stitches about those, the frustration that Rick was going through, trying to talk to somebody and having it recognized completely wrong. It was just wonderful. I love that part.
You're welcome.
Have you called City Hall lately?
Yeah.
The
part I didn't add in was please listen carefully because we've changed the menu since you last called.
Yeah. The
6
one
years
I
ago.
is, your call is important to us, but not important enough to answer the phone.
Yeah, if only those voice messaging systems would be honest, then we'd be less upset.
I feel like I would watch an entire series of one acts that were just phone calls being made to those types of services. And Barb, you nailed that part. I love the fact that we got to see that character too.
Yeah.
The favorite things I had, it wasn't just a voice, but then we actually get to meet that person who is that recorded voice, right? Which is such a neat thing that you included in the script there. So
it's if you think about it, there's actually what's interesting is since writing this, I thought, well, that's sort of, Bob Newhart used to do phone calls. You'd hear only one half of the conversation. But if you watch, there's a lot of times, like I watched Star Wars, and of course, all the conversations with the Wookiees and R2-D2 are all these one-sided where you only hear half the conversation. All sorts of examples of it in theater and movies.
Good escalation, Rick. Good escalation.
Is that a theatrical term?
No, it's something to do with escalators.
Thanks, I think. Thanks, I think.
I have to say to all of you, that was so well done. The last 3 plays, they just seem to get better and better and better. And this one was hysterical. It's made my day. I'll be smiling all night just thinking. And I just can't believe Peter could keep a straight face. I really can't. Oh, well
He's
done.
still doing it.
It's because he's sitting in a room by himself.
Yeah.
I saw Lisa. She was there. She passed him a beer.
At the end.
I have to commend Rick on his
He's not.
costuming. With the tape on the glasses.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was just his normal attire.
Did you like Barb's map with all the beaver incidents on it?
Yes.
That was good.
Oh, that's what it was then.
Tell us about your costume, Barb.
Just, the old Public Works t-shirt.
Just had one lying around.
Well, I said to Warren when we first started rehearsing for this, I've been typecast, like art is imitating life, because during the latter part of my full-time career, I was the leader of a call center and recorded many of those messages over my career. And then, I now work for the municipality of Loyalist Township. And I did spend a few months working at the Violet landfill last summer because of COVID. We couldn't bring on students, so I happened to have the workwear for the role. So yes, typecast.
When Peter first agreed to play the part of Herman
Himmler,
he said, "Yeah, I'll do it, but it's okay. I don't mind being typecast."
And I think that Jim wrote his part, didn't he?
You got it.
Warren, I'd be interested to know about this play development. Like, how did this come about? During the sting.
Oh, Jim would just wonder. His part in the only line he had in the sting was, "The phone is out of order," right? And then he growled a lot, and so when he was off stage staying in character, he growled a lot, and I would interpret what he was saying,
Bigger.
like that. Right. Yeah, he played the part of Digger. That's right.
Jim and I have a long history of sort of covering each other in roles. I was the second understudy to the dead farmer in our town. I played the preview and opening night.
That's right.
But that was Jim's role. So I guess I'm if you can't get Jim love, you call me, I guess.
Could we hear that line?
No.
Speaking of Easter eggs.
Yep, right, smart farm.
Speaking of Easter eggs, has anyone looked at the poster on the website for this play carefully?
I couldn't blow it up enough to see what it was.
Oh.
You even tricked me, Warren. I was zooming in. I'm like, wait, I know it's there.
If you're able to enlarge it on the back of the bench, there's a what do you call it? A graffiti of a dead beaver.
Yeah, he's like got X's for eyes.
Where did that come from?
So
What's that?
Where did that come from?
What, the beaver?
Yes.
That poster?
The poster, correct.
Oh, Amy-Lyn made it.
Oh, wow. Good job.
Thanks. It's fun.
I said I wanted something that looked like a pencil sketch on a napkin.
It's like, yeah, no big deal.
So speaking of typecasting,
I want a beaver on the bench as graffiti. Actually, I also originally created a raccoon that was dead because I forgot that it was a beaver. So I had a raccoon on there. And then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, that's not a beaver, that's a raccoon. That would have been a real Easter egg because it would have made no sense. Scott, since you seem to stop talking.
Sorry, speaking of typecasting, I asked Scott to play the part that he played because he has such a nice speaking voice.
Well, Scott, have you done any Zoom readings yet?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
this is my third.
I thought so. Listen, this is COVID. I don't even know what day of the week it is. So I was like, yeah, I've seen Scott in some one acts. I'm like, which ones? Wait, were those real shows? Was that on my computer? So what I want to ask the cast, this is what I do with my kids at bedtime, a brag and a drag. So a brag is what you like about Zoom readings and a drag is what you hate about Zoom readings. So it's quick. You don't have to like overthink it, just like a brag and a drag. Scott, do you think you could start?
Yeah, absolutely. No having to memorize lines, but not getting to hang out with my friends in real life.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Enno?
Ditto.
That's his drag. He can't talk.
Where am I? Is it Sylph yet? What was the question?
You're that student. You weren't even listening. You don't get to share if you're not going to listen, Enno. Go to the principal's office. Okay, a brag and a drag. So a brag is something you like about Zoom and a drag is something you hate about Zoom. And just like real quick, like short things, like off the top of your head.
Nice. It's nice to see people. What I hate about it is that it's so tantalizing. It just doesn't allow movement within the picture.
Yeah.
To make it all come together.
Yeah. There's a brag right there.
Yeah.
Who was that? I hear a pop.
Scott.
Scott's grabbing a beer.
Peter, brag and a drag.
Well, like a lot of people, the first answer is I don't have to wear pants.
Too much information.
And
prove it.
I just said I didn't have to. Okay. The brag is that it gave me an excuse to buy a microphone, just for that role. The drag is that it doesn't always work when I wanted to.
Brag and drag, Barb?
Just participating in theater again has been great. The drag is not being able to rehearse in person and get to know new people and forming relationships. Was fun working with all these guys. I've worked with Scott before, and Enno was fun working with Peter and Rick. I hope we can do it live in person.
I've also worked with Warren and Annie Get Your Gun. I'll just remind
Yeah. He doesn't count.
No, apparently.
And you and Alex.
Rick? Brag and drag?
Yeah, I would say it's great. Each time I see one, it comes up with 2 or 4 or 8 more ideas for other things you can do, and that's always great. And the drag, I guess, is that we're on Zoom instead of all together somewhere. That's the biggest one.
Yeah. Anyone else who's here right now? I think all, or almost all of you, a lot of you have been on Zoom 1X. Do you have a brag and drag? I know for me personally, a brag is, I read this somewhere and it resonated where it said, you don't really have to be a great actor to act on Zoom. And I thought that's really true because it gives you a chance to kind of learn how to just speak well, which is a big part of acting. But when you also are worried about how you're moving on stage, it can kind of make it complicated because you're like, how do I move so I'm natural, but how do I talk so it's natural? So on Zoom, you don't have to worry about movement. You just get to work on your face and how your voice sounds and how you're delivering lines. So that I like that. That's a brag. And then a drag though is when you live in the sticks, you're like signing in for Zoom shows or for Zoom rehearsals, and you're like, I sure hope I can get in. And like, you just don't know. So that's a little scary. Although living out in the sticks, there was also times where there'd be a snowstorm and I'm like, I don't think I can get to rehearsal. So it's a similar feel where it's like, I hope I can make it. And I'm just logging in like half an hour early just to check. But yeah, that's my brag and drag. Kristen?
It's nice that we have this platform. We can do the Zoom. However, I miss the feedback from the audience.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really miss it.
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, not being able to actually watch the audience's expressions and hear their laughter in this play was kind of killing me.
Yeah.
Feel the energy.
That's a
I
big
was
one.
at home. But I think we talked at one point about the idea of like maybe letting non-video participants have their sound on so that if they did laugh, you could hear it. But remember that, Alex? That was quite a few shows ago. Someone mentioned it. And in theory, it sounds great because then you get that feedback. But in reality, like it would make things like get choppy and you can't hear everyone at the same time.
Right.
And then like if you're the kind of person who wants to laugh and leave your sound on, but you also have a dog barking in the background that you're used to, but you're actually ruining the whole show. So yeah, it's hard. You want to hear all that, but you don't. So you're like, I hope this is going well.
Maybe Stefan could put in a laugh track.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just like the old sitcoms, just like
Yeah, but see, that's where I push back is that we aren't doing film, right? We're still doing kind of, but it's film, right? And that's always been those kind of conversations we have as we determine how much do we push those kind of things, like adding a laugh. This would have been exactly perhaps one of those shows where just with I mean, we had a chainsaw chopping up a beaver sound effect, right? So to the laugh track wouldn't have been more of a stretch, but
I know your face when that beaver is being sawed up was just the funniest thing. You're like,
oh, gold.
It's disgusting.
That was the chainsaw sound was not written into the original script. That was something I added as the director, right? I went, hey, a chainsaw, yeah. Make them sound
I'll
like they're
show
struggling.
you, playwright.
Also, I'm a playwright, yeah.
That's good.
But I think someone needs to write a really campy comedy, and we need to put the most horrible laugh track in it. Just now that the ideas come up.
That's a good idea. Like the Zoom sitcom. It's called like the Zoom sitcom, and it's just like really boring situational comedy. But then it's like right, and then there's this canned laughter, and they're like,
Actually,
yeah.
You could have the actors hold up their cell phones with the laugh track on it when they say a line.
If you're going to steal the music from a sitcom at the end, remember, then why not steal the laugh track?
Yes.
It wasn't longer than 15 seconds, Enno, so it wasn't theft.
Oh.
That's right. Keep it timed. Keep it timed.
So what I was going to say was we actually had behind the scenes for this production, we had 3 people providing technical support. So Alex was looking after turning people's cameras off if they walked out of the scene. And I was providing that black square that was popping up periodically, and Stefan was doing the sound booth. So it's
takes a village.
There's all those roles out there for people to use. So
It's nice to see that you're all coordinated as well.
What was the black square?
Oh, I just when it was just like at the beginning, Peter, we had the dark screen for the theater announcement.
Oh, okay.
That was I just took my camera and put it in the drawer beside me, and turned it on so that it was the black screen. And I left it there till Peter could come on. Or not, sorry, Rick came on, he spoke, and then I left it on until Peter came in.
The height of technology.
There we go.
I'm impressed.
Zoom
As a
hacks.
member of the technical committee, I am impressed.
Yes. I will say one of the reasons we do that is we discovered at one point in a performance that if all the cameras end up going off at the same time, this very weird administration screen kind of pops up on the recording or on the screen. You don't just see nice little Belleville Theater Guild. Yeah, that's
I
our
think
like
you end up with your own
blackout.
personal. You end up with your own personal name.
Yeah.
You end up with your own name on the screen, so which is disturbing. So and we also discovered.
Sorry.
So we in planning this performance, I had to work out how the people get tiled on the screen. So it was Peter and Rick and then Enno underneath. But on which is manageable within Zoom because it just depends on the order that you turn the cameras on. That's the order that they go on. But in the YouTube stream, the order is based on the order which people joined the meeting. So I had to do we had to do a little fiddling with that, a little bit of organizing before we let the rest of the audience in.
So
if you look at where the arrangement now, if you go back and look at the Zoom or at the YouTube feed, you'll see that all of the actors are at the top and everybody else is at the bottom.
Now, how is that working? How is it getting to YouTube? Is it being fed out separately than Zoom, or is it Zoom feeding it too?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, actually, I checked it earlier and there was a delay of a few seconds.
Yeah, and it's actually like one show, the delay was quite significant. One of our rehearsals, it was a little bit more, and I checked tonight and it's actually pretty tight. I think that's just something with, I'm the one who's doing that processing. So something tells me that's my internet, my computer, how quick it's sending that over. But yeah, basically the way it works is when I'm in Zoom, there's an option to go live to YouTube. You click it, opens up your browser, and then begins communicating with the Zoom application to do that. And you have the ability to control its privacy levels. So sometimes with rehearsals, we'll go to private, so that in this case, Warren was able to go back and kind of review what it was looking like against our Zoom recordings and different things like that. And then, yeah, when it's a live performance, we just go public. So.
Yeah, that was one of the things I did for other directors, other potential directors out there. That was one of the things I did was I would record the rehearsal, and rather than writing all my notes at that time, would go and look at it later on and write the notes out, and then send it out with a link to the actors to say, here's what I see, and it would allow them to see it as well. I asked the question whether that was useful for the actors, but I got a non-definitive response. Scott said he never watched it, which of course he didn't have to.
Well, I'm one of those arrogant people that only watches myself, and my part was pretty easy. So
you had to gesture though.
Yeah,
gesture.
Yeah, I get that right.
Yeah, some of us just don't. Like, I would not watch myself if I was acting in a performance, because you get your own head caught up on the things you've seen quite a lot. We're egotistical people, actors, right? When we put those hats on. We had a bit of a discussion during the last play about that, because we did some recording in one as well. And it can be very strange as an actor. If you see yourself do something that you don't like, then you may get yourself caught up mentally on that moment, right? So I know for myself, I don't typically like to watch myself before. I kind of trust my gut and the director and what they've told me, and not kind of get in. So I know for myself, if I was acting, I wouldn't. But as a director, I'm working on the next show. I'm definitely going to be doing some recording of our next one and watching back. And it's
I guess I would probably have to agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found it very I found it very helpful for myself to see the frame that you're in, and how much movement there is, and what's happening with your script pages and your phone and your beer and all those different things that you do have the ability to change or fix. And so I found it useful to watch the video the first one I saw from an early rehearsal, I think I was moving around so much that it almost looked like a shaky camera, at least for me watching it. So the mental note was settle down a little bit, try and stay a little stiller.
Settle down.
It's just settle down there. Yeah. So I found it useful to see the video that you sent out, Warren.
So that would have, your movement would have worked on stage.
I would have, yes, it would be different with rehearsal and character and being on your feet and responding to others and blocking and all of those things that are involved. There'd be a lot more that you'd be working with. Whereas here you're just working with a little TV frame. Yeah. So it was more just the technical aspect of it than anything else. And I found that very helpful. And I mean, Warren sent out the notes about, there was a note to me about moving too close to the camera. I think then we lose the phone that I had in my hand or something like that.
Yeah.
So just be watching it at least once to be aware of those simple things that you can adjust. Make sure your script isn't in the camera or, in your background, your props, getting it straight where you're looking to and what it looks like when you, for example, when we were looking at the blocked drain and the beaver and and the sound effects, to see a video of that, of how it's coming across and what you might do to adjust so that it looks more, realistic. But yeah, it was helpful to see it anyway.
Yeah. I think in the early stages, I wanted to show you that when you were looking at each other, you were in fact looking at each other because when you look at your screen, you can't tell what's like the placement of the tiles on the screen is different. You said was different for you than
yeah, I was for what I was looking at on the screen. It appeared to me those images that I was looking away from Peter when I was looking. Hopefully, it looked like I was looking at Peter when I spoke to him. When in fact, what I'm looking at on the screen is he was on my other side. So.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I have to say I enjoyed it as well to be able to look at the film bits, because it allowed me to know whether my turning head or reaction was working anyway. The other thing I want to say is that today's been a great day for me. I've had my first COVID shot and I'm going to leave you now. Thank you much. Take care. I'm just a bit sleepy.
Yes.
Fantastic
news, Enno.
I didn't know you were that old.
Bravo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Enno.
Can I add something?
Please.
When I directed the one last time, I realized, as you've been saying, less is more. And that the more you can do without, for example, making big hand gestures, the better. The more you can use your face and maybe your shoulders and some other part of you that doesn't interfere with being able to see what's going on, the better. And that was hard because I'm a hands person. And so to stop doing that, to force yourself to keep your hands to yourself and just work with your face and the upper part of your body.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
It's more like being a TV or movie actor. They obviously use bodies, but they get close-ups, right? Which you don't on stage, so you can get away with bigger body stuff and less face on stage. Whereas on Zoom, it's like, I gotta, it's supposed to work for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The handoff of the phone worked well.
Yes, yes, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like that's getting better in each show. Each show that has a pass-off, the pass-offs are getting more natural, right? Which is good because it means we're watching and we're going, okay, so it almost worked, but this needed to change. And then things actually changed. And it gets better. It's great. Hooray for improvements.
Well
Just
done,
a
everyone.
quick note from over on our YouTube channel, which is very neat. One of our Belleville residents is doing, I think, some humanitarian work actually, and watched on the YouTube all the way from down in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's Antonina from the market.
Yeah, Antonina, exactly. Yeah, I think
That's
she's with the Arthur Fredericks Builders, I believe, right down there, and doing some.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, that is very cool to think that she quite often will tune in when she is in Belleville as well, but she took the time while she was in Mexico to join us. So that's very cool to know that Antonina was watching from down in sunny, well, hopefully sunny for her. But yeah, very neat to know. Another pin on the map for us. We've had quite a few global visitors to these shows, which is a brag perhaps to go back to, is that we've been able to have people from all over the world come and see their family and friends perform. Yeah. And the thing is that we're all on Zoom, just like we all said, right? So.
Imagine if we were in this pandemic 20 years ago. We wouldn't be doing this. We'd be.
Oh no, of course.
No.
We'd be watching.
We'd be on party line, calling each other.
That's true.
This is
more than 20
technology.
years.
20 years ago.
Dial-up internet.
Yes, AOL chat room.
Yep.
Jerry Freiberg, Baby Cakes 23 is saying, have those awesome. Can you tell?
That was you?
You ever want that email address? I get 2 cents of every email. So. But yeah, fantastic. I do see some of our folks are starting to head out, but as well, just remind our cast and stuff, if they haven't, take a look through the chat. Some really nice comments in there from some folks, and looks like we have another play maybe coming in from Susan. Said she's working on a 1-act she'll be submitting, so very cool stuff there. But yeah, it looks.
Have you saved the chat comments, Alex?
It
Just
will
because-
save. I do believe the chat log saves. I'll make a point to copy and paste it in case it doesn't.
What did Jerry send here? I see Jerry sent a clip.
Oh, that's the poster from the website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can actually download that if you're so inclined, or you can go to the website. I thought it would show up, but it's just showing up as a file as opposed to actually.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the name I called the file is the Articulates with Beaver 2, because 2 was actually a beaver.
What
with
the?
1 was actually the raccoon.
Hi, Yana.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
You're somewhere sunny. What is that?
Donna.
I didn't mean to reveal myself.
But you did.
There you are.
But well done. I was watching, yes. Enjoyed it. This is a Kingston sidewalks scape, if you're wondering.
Oh.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I guess I pressed the wrong button. Darn it. I wanted to be, quiet.
That explains why the look on your face when your camera went on was this. For like 15 solid seconds.
No, they're such fun. They are. I'm grateful for Zoom because it brings theater right into the house, which is handy if you've got to, self-isolate and whatnot. And it is some theater. And the disadvantage is, like Scott was saying, you don't get to hear the audience responding to you or gasping or laughing or clapping or whatever. Yeah. And that intimate connection is really important.
And no cell phones go off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Messages.
But I was watching it on YouTube as well, and that's working well, fellas. Tech committee, yeah.
Oh, good.
Well done.
Good.
Well, I guess as a person participating in these, at least as often as I'm seeing them, I'm really grateful to everybody that hangs around and chats after, because that is the feedback that we get, that we miss while we're doing it. So at least we do get this. So thank you to all who hang around and say nice things.
We never get to go to cast parties or the pub anymore, so it almost feels like we get to do that together when we do this, right? It's almost like our little cast party after every show, so fun.
Cheers.
Would anybody like a theater update?
Yes.
Yes.
So I met Jim Love for a coffee yesterday downtown, and he said, "Yeah, we could park in the laneway by the theater," which we did. Then he wanted to go in to check the mail, so went in there, and it was kind of a surreal, strange experience. The so-called green room, the ceiling tiles are all being changed and LED lights are being installed in the ceiling. So that's going to be, I'm not sure if I like those lights. I mean, they're very efficient and cost effective, but the light is not flattering, shall we say, ladies. It's going to be quite bright.
Pink.
I can't see you.
Bright daylight white.
Oh God.
I don't know if there's dimmers on those or not. So anyhow, yeah. So the ceiling tiles there's new ceiling tiles which are stacked up by the old box office, and I guess that's a work in progress. The backstage has all these rubber mats. They were laid finally. What that does is that'll keep everything quiet. Like when people are walking backstage, you won't hear,
Yeah. And also, instead of all the uneven chunks.
Yeah, evens it out.
That too. It sort of evens it out. There's probably going to be a big cleanup party whenever we finally open up, because there's dust everywhere. The piano in the green room. It's brown, but it looks white. You know.
Yeah, it should have got covered before the ceiling got replaced, but nobody thought of that. So.
But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, just because we all miss the place so much, and it's kind of like bittersweet going in there. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you.
It's like a ghost
How
town.
you been?
Yeah.
We forgot to ask, when there was more people here, we forgot to ask how they liked the Welcome to the Pinnacle Theater.
Oh yeah, I sent Stefan a note. It was classic intro, LOL.
Yeah. I did get a text message. Some people were having a good laugh. Oh, Marvin says, look at this. I got to check over. The lights will have dimmers and adjustable light spectrum, can be cool or warm white.
Oh, that'd be
or green.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or green.
That sounds good.
Green.
Is green flattering?
Green's not flattering, no.
But it's the room.
So we learned that trying to use the funky lights on
Wait a minute,
last, 5 years, if we were calling Amy-Lyn when we were playing. I thought like, oh boy, yeah, we're the story of Shmuel takes place in outer space all of a sudden. Yeah, we don't like lighting humans with green. It makes us look very otherworldly.
Yeah.
I should pass on to Enno. Yana, you can pass this on to Enno.
Yes, he's nearby.
I think he deserves some sort of award for being on screen and doing like
Enno, are you
and
listening?
not speaking for so long. Yeah.
You should come and hear what Warren's saying. You deserve an award for being on screen that long without speaking.
Yeah.
You're like Buster Keaton, I guess.
Just like Buster Keaton, yes. Oh, weird.
Oh, wait.
Enno.
Coming out of the virtual background. Oh, we lost him.
Whoop, I'm back. Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
The two-headed beast.
I love how he pops in and out.
Yeah. It really plays into the fact that I saw some meme that said Zoom meetings are like a current
This is weird.
what's when they're trying to like
a seance.
A seance, yeah. So it's like, Enno, are you there? Can you hear me? I feel his hands. We go, Enno, can you hear us?
I think I see him.
It's gone now. It's gone.
Yes. And another little update just coming in from YouTube. Marvin on kind of carrying what Jerry had said. He says 2 to 3 weeks. It sounds like the Marquee project will be moving ahead with the new.
Wow, cool. After all this.
It's gonna be shiny and new.
So what's the word about back in like 2022?
For what, the Marquee?
No, for everybody to get back in the theater.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mamma Mia.
Are you a sightseer, Jerry? Do you like see what the future holdeth with Wave 3 and the variant?
No, not a clue.
I don't think any of us do. So there's your answer.
If I can interject, I've been playing with my Mac and the special filters. Some of you might have that on your Mac. I don't know, but it's been fun because speaking of theater.
Oh, that's Zoom.
Yes, that's Zoom backgrounds. Yes, it's such fun. It's such fun.
My computer's too old and won't let me do green screen.
Yeah, you have to have whatever version this is, but and it also there's this.
Oh, cool.
Hello, Telly.
And for parties, there's where is it?
Oh, somebody's in space.
Oh, outer space. Look, I'm in my computer room in Tweed. It's actually the old entryway to our house.
Here for parties.
Oh. Looks like cheap.
Yeah, in Zoom, check your.
I think that's a piece of pizza.
It's a pizza hat. It's not a whole hat. It's a pizza hat. But the other thing is, if you have it in Zoom, you can go to the video filters. Let's see, virtual background, video filters, and then scroll down to studio effects. Okay, and that's really interesting because you can do stuff like give yourself eyebrows.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, and lip color for whoever wants it, like black.
Wow.
Pink. But how about this?
Oh, wow.
It's fun.
Mustache and beard.
Oh.
So
Needs hair and
too much online screen. It's been fun.
I'm going to run now. I want to say thank you to Warren for asking me to come and play with everyone. So thank you all for coming
You're
out.
most welcome, Rick.
Thank you for playing with us, Rick.
You did
Yeah,
good.
We'll
Good
see
job,
you all
Rick.
soon. Hopefully
Take
we'll
care.
see you soon.
See you
Well
tomorrow.
done, Rick.
Yeah. Bye.
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 And I might take this moment as Rick is leaving to have all of us here in Zoom maybe say goodbye. There's only a few left over on our YouTube live stream, but I think we're starting to wrap up. So maybe we'll wave and say, fare thee well, YouTube. It was
Thanks, Warren.